Okay, so obviously this is a perfect opportunity to call me, but please don't. There are very few people in the world that can get me to jump into Arctic waters when the wind chill is at minus 25. I can't swim. Roderick Sloane is a man that can and did. As the person responsible for every product that comes into Restaurant Noma through the back door and sometimes through the front door during service, it's people like Roderick that make what I do and make what we do as a group in the restaurant worthwhile. Roderick supplies us with sea urchins. He goes out on the most unbelievably rusty boat, drops into the water suited up, and then one by one picks these sea urchins up and puts them in a net. He treats them like his children, who also are in a net at sea. It's people like Roderick Sloane that provide the real magic behind what we do at the restaurant. He loves his sea urchins, and we love him. So please welcome Roderick Sloane.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks. It's the same thing. Trevor, you can come back swimming anytime. Yeah. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I'm really terrified today, guys. I feel like a fish out of water. This is not my environment. Yeah. Whoops, that's not the right one, but it'll do. Okay. Okay, I was going to show you a map of where I live, because you really have to understand where I live. I'm about 2,500, maybe 3,000 kilometers north of Copenhagen, and I live in a tiny village, yeah, which you can see in this picture here. Yeah, that's my village. There's 80 people live in this village all year round, yeah? The average age is 65. I'm a young man. I'm 42, you know, and it's fantastic. In the summertime, we've got an expansion of up to 450 people, yeah? Tourists, woohoo, big industry, yeah? But not really why I moved there, yeah? This picture, okay, is like taken from the mountain. I can see from my back door, or my kitchen window, yeah? And if you have a look up in the right-hand corner, yeah, you can see where I fished the sea urchins last year. It's about 3 kilometers away from where we are, yeah? It doesn't seem very far, but in my life, in the wintertime, it's a long, long way, yeah? Okay, this, like all fishermen, okay, I have superstitions, yeah? It's normal for us to have superstitions, yeah? This is a sea eagle, yeah? It's the second largest live export from where I live, yeah? We've sent these all around the world. Scotland was repopulated by them from my home area, yeah? But as a fisherman, when I go to sea, and if I don't see one of these, it's going to be a bad day, yeah? Because nature tells me how it's going to work all the way. The other thing in the picture, you maybe can't see it, but on the eagle's eye, there's the worst thing you find in North Norway, yeah? The thing that if I see any of these, I'm not going fishing, okay? It's called a mosquito, yeah? Right, move on. This is how I go to work, yeah? I look like the Michelin man here, yeah? Thanks, chef. But everything I have on there, okay, is essential to keep me alive, yeah? The hat looks a bit crazy, yeah? But I lose 80% of my body heat through my head, yeah? And it's top thing. So if you go over the Arctic Circle, take a hat. Even in the summertime, just take a hat, yeah? Okay? The the next thing is, okay, in my hand, okay, you'll see what I call my best friends, yeah? These are hand warmers. I've got boxes of these at home, yeah? Because when I come out of the water, click, bang, instant heat. It doesn't matter how hot it is when I come out of the water, yeah? It can be 100 degrees Celsius, and it's like, yes. Right, going to move on to the next one now. It's another tool of mine, okay? This is the 1 in a million boat. I love this boat. This boat's ideal, yeah, I thought. But she's 7 meters long, and I had her for 3 months, yeah? But we'll get back to that. But in those 3 months, okay, the worst fishing experience I ever had was on this boat, yeah? We ended up at sea in waves which were 40 meters high for 5 hours. And it was, 1 kilometer to get to. Just 1 kilometer, You could see it. Up, down, and there it is, down. She got us home. That's the amazing thing. We actually got back, yeah? For 5 hours, I didn't have a cigarette, yeah? That was really tough, But we got home, and the next day, the engine broke. So she's a 1 in a million boat. She couldn't handle the sea urchin fishing. It just wasn't for her, yeah? So on the 30th of December, 2007, this was the one day off in my season that year, yeah? My Christmas, I'd worked through it. I went to Oslo to see some friends, to drink some whiskey, to eat some good food. And I came home, and she'd sunk in the harbor. And I was like, man, it's 18 hours, But she sunk, she'd gone. And the real thing about her was she was 1 in a million because the 1 in a million thing that went wrong, okay, was the bilge pump reversed. So she sucked in water instead of throwing it out. Okay, back to reality. This is my main fishing boat just now. She's from 1972, ex-Norwegian military. This boat is quite literally bulletproof. Yeah? So, pirates, no stress. Okay? She's unsinkable. She's a great boat, yeah? And it's, I take her up on top of rocks, I take her up beaches, yeah? But she's my best friend, yeah? And I love her very much. My insurance company, okay, when I came to insuring her, they offered me a quote for vintage boats. And I said, this is not a vintage boat, okay? This is the real McCoy. The problem is, okay, I've only found one of these boats. So if you travel around the world, if any of you see one of these boats, buy it, okay? And I'll treble your price. Yeah? Okay. This is me at work. Yeah? This is me doing the thing. The guys are walking around just now, okay? And they're going to give you a piece of ice. I don't know how you feel, but it's really hot here for me. Yeah? I want you to take the piece of ice, yeah, and I want you to just put it on your lips. Okay? And hold it there as long as possible. Yeah? Don't eat the ice, okay? Just put it against your lips and just hold it there. Okay? We've got a clock here. I'll tell you when 1 minute's up. Okay? So just hold it against your lips, yeah? The water I work in, okay, generally is around about anywhere from -2 degrees to about 2 degrees Celsius. That's cold. Yeah? For half of the year, okay, I spend my life in there, yeah. And it's an average working day for me. Means I'm in the water for about 3 to 4 hours on a go. You doing there? You've only got 20 seconds left to go. Yeah? And if you look at the picture of me, you'll see I don't wear a full face mask, okay? Okay? 20 seconds, no problem. 4 hours, okay? And your lips begin to look like that. It's very cheap cosmetics. Right. Need to try and get back on track here. This is what I do it for, okay? This is Strongylo Synthrotus drabachiensis. Long name. More commonly known as the Norwegian green sea urchin, yeah? It's one of about 700 species in the world, yeah? Sea urchins, okay, have been around for about 600 million years. They're really old, you know, they've gone through a lot. The one in my hand, okay, what you see is not the bottom, it's the top. That's the mouth, yeah? Just so we're clear about this, okay? When they're curved there, that's the bottom at the top. Very important, yeah? Just now, okay, I'm fishing around about 100, 150 kilos of these a week, yeah? They've actually become physically part of me, yeah? I've got spikes from these sea urchins all over my body, yeah? And it's, the first rule with sea urchins, guys, in the kitchen is, if you get a spike, you have to take it out the same day. It's really painful, yeah? But it has to go the same day. If not, then you'll end up like me, yeah? You've all seen the Twitter image. Okay. Appetite, okay, William Shakespeare, he wrote it as a universal wolf, yeah? I'm kind of like a lone wolf, yeah? I don't get fed things from lots of people, yeah? I'm out there. But in reality, this is my wolf, okay? The fish you're seeing there, okay, is a blue wolffish, yeah? Sea urchins only have 2 predators, okay? It's a guy with all the gear and the perfect killing machine below, yeah? This fish means nothing to you guys, but it means an awful lot to me. This is the first fish I saw when I was 14 years old, yeah? My first dive in a place called St. Abb's Head in Scotland. And my dive leader, you know what he did? He went over and he picked up a sea urchin, he cracked it, and he fed it to this fish. So, he's another part of my world, yeah? This is something else, a fish, yeah? These are mahogany clams, Arctica Icelandica, yeah? Fantastic shell, not used really, used to be used quite a lot, not anymore. It's got a big umami taste, yeah? It's a serious shell. But more than that, okay? This shell is actually changing the planet, okay? This is one of the oldest living things on the planet. They found an example of this shell in new research last year off Iceland, okay, which was 507 years old, okay? So now they're using the shells to chart climate change, temperatures in the sea, yeah, because of the growth rings, same as the trees. But it's a really important shell. Fortunately, okay, it only breeds for the first 25 years of its life. After that, it kind of retires, you know. It steps back, and I'm a pensioner now, and next 500 years, I'm just going to lie back here and watch the world. Okay, this is another thing I do. Summertimes, I'm actually a chef as well. Did I not change it? Thanks. Okay, summertime, I'm a chef. I go to places like this. Okay, there's a lighthouse in the middle of the fjord. Yeah, you see the boat again? Very useful boat. Yeah, and I cook for people and try and give them different things. So that's one of the things I do. Another thing is I do this. I try and go out and teach children about what I work with. There's an awful lot of people who live in cities and things, and they don't go to beaches, yeah? And this picture was taken in Oslo, and Geitmere. And the thing I love about this picture, the hands in the picture, okay? The little girl, yeah, she's got a lollipop with a snail on the end of it, and she's going to eat it, yeah? There's my big dirty hand as well. And then, if you look right in the center, okay, you'll see this tiny, tiny little pair of hands, yeah? Okay? And they're opening up a cockle. And I enjoy that, okay? And I have to give a big back to people, you know? Okay, I think one of the most important things is actually sort of understanding what inspires your appetite as a person, yeah? So we're going to go on to that. Okay, I love this picture, yeah? This is the oldest guy in the village. He's a fisherman. He's been fishing since he was 8 years old. He speaks no English. He's incredibly grumpy. He's a very dear friend. He's taught me everything about ropes and knots, and he's a star. The other person in the picture, okay, is one of the youngest members of the village, okay? This is my son, yeah? And between these two, okay, they represent the past and the future, yeah? And what I like about the picture is the guy in the future, he's pointing, the youngest guy in the picture, he's pointing forward into the future, yeah? And the old guy, he's looking forward, but he's smiling, you know? Somehow these guys have cracked it, but they won't tell me, yeah? So they represent the community where I live, and that inspires my appetite to do what I do. These guys here, yeah? These guys, they know the perfect storm. They do it for a living. I don't know why they do it for a living. They have to be crazy. These are my lifeboat crew, yeah? But they also represent, okay, the way that people can change their lives, yeah? And I know there's lots of chefs here, and you're all inspired by food and whatnot, okay? But I'm pretty sure there's some of you here who are just being dragged along by your boss or whatever it is, yeah? Maybe you want to change your life. The guy on the left-hand side, okay, his name's Per. He used to be a butcher. He still is a butcher for me now and again. He's a fantastic butcher, yeah? When he goes out to sea, yeah, and I told you about my little storm, okay, it's when we're all home. He's the only person I worry about at sea, yeah? And I'll phone him up and I'll say, Per, how's it going down there? Are you going to sea? You're not. And he says, no, maybe later on, we'll see. But they're people who inspire me. They push me ahead in many ways. Okay, I don't know, do you reckon any of the faces here? You know, it's like, there's one guy there called Sam Nutter, yeah? Trevor's there, yeah? Can you see Trevor, anybody? Can you pick Trevor out in that picture? Okay. It's not there, right, okay. Trevor's there. Ali's there. Yeah?
With the nose.
Who said that? You said the nose. I was going to say the nose, but, you know, I thought maybe it's a bit too much. And then Michael Booth's there. They represent two groups, okay, who really push me forward, yeah? They represent the chefs, yeah? Who phone me up and say, sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning, and say, Roddy, can you get me this? I say, when? They say, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? And I say, maybe. I never say no. I never say yes. I always say maybe, yeah? Okay. So the chefs, okay, they push me hard to go and find the new things, yeah? And then the other two, okay, I don't know, Ali sometimes writes things, yeah? He's a bit of a food writer. Michael writes an awful lot about food, yeah? There's lots of food writers here, yeah, and bloggers and things like that, okay? I know I live in the middle of nowhere, yeah? But I follow you all, yeah? And it's like sometimes you just get tiny, tiny little bits of your information come back to me, and I get a genius idea from it. which I'm pretty much guaranteed 99% of the time is not going to work. But I'll spend 2 weeks trying to make it work, yeah? There's not a lot to do when the weather's bad. So I'm just saying, okay, cooks, keep phoning me, keep pushing me. Writers, keep writing, yeah? Okay. This is my last page now, yeah? Second last, okay? This is about losing your appetite, okay? In 2008, okay, it was a really bad year. And I made a decision, okay, I was going to grow up. I was going to give up my passion, my sea urchins, okay, and I was going to go back to school. And then this crazy Danish guy phones me up and says, "Hi, I hear you're the man to talk to about sea urchins." I say, "Yeah." It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and there was sunshine. Sunshine is a big part of my life. When the sunshine's there, I don't want to be on the telephone. But he talked for an hour, you know. He talked about all these things, you know. And then the conversation, he says, "How do you know that?" I said, "It's my job." Yeah. But I was pretty determined I wasn't going to do it. I was kind of set my ways. I'm going to leave sea urchins, okay, go back to school. Yeah. And I walked into the kitchen, and my wife was standing there, and she said, "Who was that?" You know, and it's some Danish chef, you know. And it's like, "Where do they work?" And it's like, Nimrod, Nana, something like that, yeah? I don't care. And then she turns around and she says, "Was it Noma?" And I said, "Yeah, it was Noma, I think." And I said, "Okay, basically, I'm not doing this guy." So I pulled all the tricks in the book, yeah? And it's kind of like, I'm going back to school. I'm getting a serious job. Because my wife's told me to do this guy, I'm still not doing this guy. Yeah? And I'd look out the window and it'd be like, "Ooh, that looks like a dangerous sea today. That wind's very long. That's about 2 meters per second today. If I go back to my health and safety plan here, okay, I'm not going fishing for him, you know." But then, you know, I don't know if you know him, he pushes you a lot, and then he says, come on, and then he arrives at my doorstep, you know, and he comes up, and he says, "Roddy, I'm bringing a photographer." "Great, you're bringing a photographer, fine. Yeah. Yes, we can go for a boat trip, no problem." I meet him at the airport, and I said, "You know, it's a long way to come, and you'll not have very much time," and all this kind of stuff. And he arrives, and he pulls out his new hat, you know, that he's just bought in duty-free and whatnot, and he's got all the kit, you know. But he's forgotten an essential tool, the essential tool, which I thought might actually be here. Lars, have you forgotten something, darling?" Ah, good man. Rennie Rosepi, come up on the stage here. Come here. This is not about advertising this guy. This is about teaching him. Okay? He was on the boat for 4 hours and about minus 22. Walk around here. Don't do this very often. He was wearing those. This is a present from me to you. Cold feet make big problems. But the last thing I have to say to you is, thank you for giving me my appetite back. Yeah? And that's about it, you know? Thanks.
Right there.
No.
Okay. Brilliantly, Roderick came in on time, so we also have some questions. That was just a really wonderful portrait of the world that Roderick inhabits, and he inhabits it so that that food can arrive on your plate and in your kitchens. And I hope we all have a different perspective on the kind of effort that Roderick goes to. And it seems like he does it because of his love for that food and that region. And my lips are still burning after just a minute of that ice, so I can't imagine what it's like after 4 hours. And in fact, your photographs were just wonderful as well. So if you do give up the day job, I think you could always become a photographer. And the picture of the oldest member of the village with your son is a really poetic, I think, kind of capture of what it is you do. Can we have some questions for Roderick? We've got 6 minutes. Yeah, we've got a question here.
Roderick, out of all the things in the world, why sea urchins?
I was going to be a millionaire. But the simple reason was, okay, I was going to be a millionaire. And it became sea urchins because my brother-in-law said, let's go and do sea urchins. And I said, yeah, I know a few guys, we can maybe do this. Yeah. But it didn't quite work out like that. You know, it's simple theory, put them in a box, put them in a plane, they're gone. A lot more complicated in practice. Okay.
Okay, do we have any another question for Roderick? Another question for Roderick? I'm going to ask you a question, Roderick, and then we're just going to do a quick question, Roderick. You're from Scotland. It's quite cold and dark in Scotland, and I would have thought that was dark and cold enough, but you went even further north to somewhere even colder. What took you to the tip of Norway?
The tip of Norway? To where I live now is actually my wife. So that's being honest with you, yeah. The women have control. Basically, guys, give up. They are in charge.
That's the most truthful thing anyone will say on this stage today. We have another question up here.
Do you ever get used to the coldness on your lips?
And honestly, no, but it gets better, if you put it like that. The longer you, when the season starts, it's quite warm, and then it gets colder and colder and colder, yeah? And the worst time in the year is February, March. That's when it's incredibly cold. So, no, you never get used to it. Yep.
I have a question down here in the front row. Just wait till the microphone comes. It's right here. Chap with the white shirt.
Hi, is the sea urchin population affected by climate change already? Can you see that? Or is that something you'd doubt?
The sea urchin populations in Norway are quite strong, yeah. They're strong to the point where they're actually starting programs to wipe the sea urchins out, which I strongly disagree with. It was something they tried in California in 1965. I can physically see climate change where I am, yeah, because I see different species of fish which weren't there 10 years ago. Are there now, yeah. I see different shellfish coming in, okay, that weren't there before. Which you can say is good for me, but it's not really good for the planet. The other real sort of big thing is I worry about the sea. I worry about acidification of the sea. Obviously, without the calcium in the sea, we're going to lose all the shellfish. And then I worry also about like microplastic particles. Yeah, these are the ones that actually the animals filter into their system. Yeah, which is it's all not that good. You know. But if you work hard, okay, and if we go back to my son, yeah, he seems to have something about the future, and he knows about this, yeah, and he asks about it.
We've time for one last question, if anyone has a question. One last question here, right in the middle.
I'm from the coast of Baja California in Mexico, and there is a lot of sea urchin there as well, but the climate does not compare at all to the climate here where you fish.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the difference in the quality of the urchin itself?
Okay, I'm going to be really honest and say I've had a big debate about this over the last few days, and the sort of information I'm getting in from Australia or the information I'm getting in from America or South America, there doesn't seem to be a big pattern. So I can't really answer the question honestly for you, yeah. But I can come to Mexico and we can work in it.